All right, everybody, welcome. My name is Drew Lund. I am the Director of Marketing and Franchise Development for Complete Pest Solutions. I am so excited to be able to have here with us today Tom Dorr. He is our franchisee that started in the Akron territory, and he was actually our first franchisee to sign on. So we're just here to have a little bit of a conversation today, because I know for a lot of people out there, as you look at franchising and try to consider, is this right for you? It's really helpful to hear from those of us that are your corporate team here at Complete Pest Solutions, but honestly, sometimes it's probably more helpful to hear from somebody who's actually doing it. So that's why we brought in Tom. He was the first one we got, and so this is a special moment for us. So Tom, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Drew.
I'm just going to go ahead and ask you some questions as we go along, and so maybe if you'd be so kind, can you start out by telling us what a little bit of your background is before franchising, and then kind of how you heard about us and what made you want to jump in?
Sure. I've spent most of my professional career in corporate sales, managing sales teams, managing sales divisions, and I was actually in the commercial security industry with surveillance systems and security and alarm fire systems for businesses, corporations. And that's how I met Anthony, who owns Complete Pest Solutions. He was a customer of mine, and he had told me that he was looking to franchise his business, and he said, I know you know a lot of people, Tom, so here's some flyers if you know someone interested. And I talked to my wife, who was looking for a career change herself, and we decided let's be the first. So
yeah, I mean, hey, I know Anthony Farrell pretty well myself. He and I have been friends for years before I started working with him, and he really has a way of getting infectious. He really believes in the vision, and I mean, that's how he started to get those folks like us around him, is because this is something that really is going somewhere. So can you tell me, what was it about franchising that really caught your interest? I know the company was something that you heard as you talked with Anthony and set up our security system yourself, got to see the inside. That's something that really got you excited. What was about the idea of franchising, a business ownership, that kind of angle in general, as somebody with a background in corporate sales, what brought you to that change?
My family has had small businesses, and so there is an entrepreneur spirit within our family, and I was looking for something. Either I was going to stay doing what I was, or I'm going to dedicate the next 20 years towards something that I can create and grow on my own. And as I said, my wife she's in the physical therapy field, and she was looking for a change after 25 years. This was something we could do together. And in talking to Anthony, just the variety of what a day brings in the pest control industry was exciting. And being out, every day different, being out, meeting people one-on-one, all of that, as we talked about it and had meetings with Andy, got me really excited.
Yeah. So as you talk about some of those conversations you had with Anthony, can you talk me through what some of your expectations were getting in? What was your, I don't know if we need to get too formal about it, but your 1 year, 5 year, what was kind of your projection of what did you expect your day-to-day, your month-to-month to look like?
Anthony had done a great job in laying out what I could expect as far as my expenses business-wise, what we need to do to grow the business through advertising and phone books, through my own efforts, through Google, through Facebook, and based on his history, what I could expect to see as a growth rate. So knowing that, and knowing myself having been in sales for 30 plus years, I felt confident that my goal is to see a profit after the first year, which is pretty aggressive when it comes to a small business, or a franchise. But that was my goal. In 5 years, I want to have at least 3 techs, because I've got 3 counties. So a tech dedicated to each county, and we've grown the business that much, because what I started with was basically nothing. So so we're rolling into July will be 1 full year. my wife is now part of the business, so she's leaving the physical therapy. So that was the first move, was to get her in to handle all the administrative stuff. So that
that's a pretty exciting step.
Yes, yeah, it is. It is, and it happened a little faster than we thought. So.
Yeah. So that was going to be my follow-up question: is now that you had kind of those expectations, those frame of mind getting into this through those conversations with Anthony. What has that been like on the tail end? What have you seen compared to the expectations you've had going in? What have you actually seen come out of it?
Like anything, when you start to get involved in something, you look into the future and you foresee how things are going to go, but you don't know. It's all unknown. Sure. And Anthony was guiding me towards certain things like wildlife. Mm-hmm. It's like, you really want to, which means you got to buy a truck, which means you need this, and that was more expensive than I was thinking about, but I trusted his experience and his wisdom, and it's been point on. I mean, some of what has gotten us to where we are faster has been following his recommendations and not just doing the insect treatments, and it's actually involved in all aspects of pest control.
Right. So it's really that benefit of being able to be a part of a system, a business model that's been around,
yes.
been refined over time.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is ultimately what the franchise model is about, is taking something that's been proven in the field and just having the chance to apply it yourself.
Well, look at me. I was in corporate sales. I never did anything like this kind of work before. Mm-hmm. And through the training with the technicians, that's part of the corporate, the franchise package, and having access to all of them, Anthony's 20 plus years of expertise and the rest of them. So having all that available, it gave me a lot of confidence to go out there and actually do this.
Yeah. So tell me about, as somebody who, again, as you've referenced a couple times, was in sales, what's it been like getting used to being the guy in the field? The one who's getting up on the ladder, doing the inspections, handling the wildlife, doing the sprays. What's that been like?
It's been fun. Every day there are multiple things that I'm doing that are different. So it's always exciting. It's always challenging. Animals and wildlife can be quite challenging because you got to get in the mind of that animal in many cases to figure out what you need to do to keep him from getting where he's not supposed to be, whether it be in an attic or whatnot. So it's been exciting, to be honest with you.
That's good. I know one of the big things that we say at Complete Pest Solutions, it's in our name, Complete Pest Solutions. We really pride ourselves in having the comprehensive services,
Yes.
the wide breadth of that. What has that been like for you? Do you feel like that's something that's affected your business, being able to have those different avenues?
Yes, absolutely. Several of my, and a lot of the initial point of contact, whether it be I've got an ant issue, I've got a rodent issue, I've got a squirrel, has led to these customers becoming quarterly customers in different treatment plans, and it was the wildlife that the other company didn't do that got me there, and then in conversations finding out that they also had spider issues or ant issues, and then being able to offer those services as well. So our comprehensive approach has definitely allowed me to gain more customers than if I was simply in the insect side of it or just the wildlife side.
So just for clarification, you've actually gained customers from your competitors because there were services that they were not able to provide.
Correct.
That's a pretty big value right there.
Yes.
So as you've talked about these kind of early days, these first, you're not even a year in at this point, right? So you're still in the early days of the business. You've been the guy, you've been the one closing the sales, you've been the one providing the services, all that. What has that done for you in terms of what you see for the future after you've looked at where you've been so far? What do you see looking ahead at this point?
Great question. The software that runs the scheduling, the billing, it sets up the tax, all that, it is very user friendly, and she's figured it out pretty quickly. So it's freed up my time to do more prospecting, more marketing, and we're going to by the end of this year, hire our first technician, and we're going to be looking for a retail commercial spot, small,
Right.
but because I can't, in my development, I can't have 2, 3, 4 Complete Pest Solution trucks.
Yeah.
The neighbors aren't going to be happy.
Yeah.
So.
So talk to me about that. So
Yeah.
I know, again, one of the things we like to talk about is we really try to make this concept and this brand something that's accessible. Can you tell me a little bit about what kinds of things you were able to do to get those expenses down and the profit up in these early days of the business?
Sure. Great question. By running the office out of the home, obviously I didn't have the expenses of a retail
Sure.
location. I bought a very sensible truck that was applicable to the business. So
Didn't have to be one brand new, fresh off the line.
$60,000. Yeah, no, I spent $30,000, and that allowed me to put the ladder racks and all the wildlife equipment, and so that was that buying that truck so I can handle the wildlife portion has already paid for the truck. So that was a great investment into the business. And then obviously with me doing everything, not only am I learning, but I'm not paying someone else
Yeah.
to do it. So,
So by the time you start to bring in, as you've talked about, by the end of this year, bringing in your first technician to work under you and to be able to train, you now are going to be able to have that expertise to be able to tell that tech from experience, look, I've done it, this is what you need to do.
Yes.
Take a look for that thing. And speaking of that, as we talk about, again, the benefits of being a part of a franchise system, people that have done this before, the business model, what has it been like for you? What's the support you've received ongoing? Obviously, you referenced earlier the upfront training.
Right.
What's happened since you started?
Sure. Opportunities will present itself for a larger commercial in businesses that will have several locations, and so as well as housing authorities and different municipality offices. So all those are going to require bids. I've never done those types of city municipality, so Anthony has. So he's a resource. He will from the opening line to the finish. He's right there with me and how to prepare the bids, what kind of terminology we need to have in there, so that we increase our chances of getting those as I get more and more prepared to handle them. So that's been an excellent resource. When I do hire someone, there is a training program that they will go through first with the lead technicians at corporate, and then to me, and then I'll continue the training. And then there's all kinds of visual support for, there's going to be videos, and I'm training on specific, how do you handle this situation? Here's a termite job, or here's where you've got a raccoon in an attic. What's the best procedure? All that is available for the technicians. And then if I need help, I can reach out, and there are staff available to actually assist me on the job site, or I have access to everyone for any questions on a particular situation I might not know. So the support from corporate has been invaluable. On the spot, I hadn't had to wait for anything when it comes to that. Anthony has been incredibly available himself, and he makes sure that happens, especially with us new guys, because he knows we need it.
Absolutely. So now, as we're getting to, again, the tail end of your first year doing this, and you've already mentioned that you've seen even a little bit more growth than you were hoping for in this amount of time. I guess as we kind of turn this back to somebody that might be watching this, thinking about, is a Complete Pest Solutions franchise right for them? What can you say to this gentleman, this lady, about what your experience has been? Is this something that you believe was the right choice for you and your family? And is there any advice you would give to somebody following along from home?
Yes. Yes, it is. Any new venture is going to be, a little bit scary, especially financially when you've got an income and you've been counting on that. Now it's going to be resting on your shoulders. But I had faith in Anthony. I had faith in what he had set up for the franchising itself, the support, the structure, and a little faith and confidence in myself, and the willingness to be open-minded. I look back now, and it's been one of the greatest decisions that we have made. My wife is very happy with it. I'm very happy with it. We're very excited about the future and where our business is going to go. It's actually going to be our retirement. It'll be in 10 years. The company, my franchise, will pretty much run itself. I'll oversee it, but yeah, it's going to be our retirement. It's going to be our way of life. So.
Well, I think that's about as good of a spot as any to be able to wrap this up here. I know that I really appreciate your time here and appreciate really for the last number of months being able to work alongside you as we really work together to see this company of yours really grow into something pretty special. So thank you for joining us, and folks at home, thanks for following along as well. We are always happy to be able to talk with anybody. Like I said earlier, I love being able to talk about this brand and this concept. So we'll have some contact information on the screen for you to be able to reach out by phone or email or otherwise. So please feel free to reach out. We'd love to be able to have a conversation. So Tom, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Drew.